Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cyclone. It's time for our Let's Play Train Simulator Classic on the Settle to Carlisle line. Today we're doing a scenario called the Fair Return. It's the annual Appleby horse fair, and extra services have been laid on to cope with passenger demand to and from the event. You are in charge of one of these services to Carlisle, calling at all stops en route. Paths are tight due to the operational nature of the Settle to Carlisle line, and you will have to make sure you convey your passengers safely, but also keeping to the tight temporary timetable. How tight is it? Let's see. Let's get started. Good evening, driver. We are running to a tight schedule this evening. Please release the doors immediately to allow the passengers to board. Done. And we're going to get our train set up here. In fact, I'm going to move the reverser up sight unseen, which you'll be able to confirm as soon as I get in the cab. Look at that. Moved it up sight unseen. Beautiful. So we're going to have a green signal up ahead, as you can see. There's a signal for each line. Ours is up. The other one's down. So you can also see something is coming in the distance there. So we're going to see this train coming, which is 2H95. He's going to arrive in just a moment here. And we're going to get to see him come in for his stop. Leaving Appleby. Our first stop today is Langwathby, platform number 1. We are due to arrive at 17:16. Looks like this is a little tight because we're currently estimating to be about half a minute or so late here, especially as we try to get our train up to speed. So we're going to pull that to a full throttle immediately and try to take advantage of all the speed we can on this journey. Now, I had planned to use the Armstrong Powerhouse model today. I know I said I was kind of unsure. I was waffling a little bit on that. But I decided after trying to put the Armstrong train in and realizing that the train didn't show up here, you could see nothing, I decided that wasn't a good idea. So I just stuck with the original train for today, and we're going to deal with it for today. In the future, I may take another shot at it, or I may just play a version of a scenario where possible that does not have that already has the train added. I know there's a pack that was released on Alan Thompson's sim by, I believe it's Thomas Oates, who released that. He redid all the Settle to Carlisle scenarios, standard versions, including the Settle to Carlisle specials scenarios, and he used all sorts of different stock from other developers, such as Steam Sound Supreme, Victory Works, and places like that. I think Victory Works might be in there, I'm not sure. But obviously, Armstrong Powerhouse is in there for the 158 as well, so I think the 156 was even used on some scenarios, in some cases alternate versions. So that pack does exist. There's about 25 or so scenarios in that pack, and if you don't care about the career mode, they're right up your alley. Mind you, most scenarios that are outside of the official DLC are standard mode or timetable anyway. Timetable falling under standard mode. So chances are, if you have that pack, you're going to be playing standard mode scenarios anyway. Because he didn't touch the career ones, he tells me. So I'm trying to do very light brake applications to keep my speed within my 60 speed limit. Noticing there is a 30 we have to deal with up ahead. We're going to have to slow down for that while on this downhill. That's a little disconcerting. We have lots of time before we have to actually worry about slowing down. In fact, we're going to get a buzzer because it's a 50% drop in our speed limit. So we're going to get a buzzer telling us to slow down. And that buzzer might even be a little early. Okay, the downhill has ended. Or at least it's mostly ended. We're now on a 1 in 382. Looks like it's going uphill. There's our warning. Let's start slowing down. We're just going to do a nice casual slowdown so we can try to maintain some time advantage here. Because we are going to lose time while we're slowing down. There's nothing we can do about that, unfortunately. Have to keep it at 40 for a while. I should have waited a little longer to slow down, I now know. But now we're going to bring it down. Heavy brake. Ooh, that was actually closer than I should have made it. I made that closer than it should have been, but we are down at our 30. We are in good shape. So we are gently losing speed at this time, just trying to stay within the 30. We are going to get bumped up to a 60 again in about 3/4 of a mile. Until then, we're just going to coast it around 30. Remember in the tutorial there was something said about weakened ground in the area near Appleby, and that's where we are right now. So I'm going to try to regain a little bit of my speed here. Getting to 57 should do it. Never mind, getting to 71 will do it. That's exactly what I want to see right now. Good enough. Dropping it back off for a moment. So we're going to live with that. While we're waiting to get out of this 30, let's look at our timetable. We are going to Langwathby. We're going to head to, actually that's for 1716. We're going to continue to Lazonby and Kirkoswald, Armathwaite, and Carlisle. 1747 is our arrival time. So 40 minutes from where we are now. Starting to speed up. Gonna say the engine didn't want to go there. So I hope you all had a wonderful Easter weekend or whatever it is you celebrate, be it Passover or Sabbath or anything else you might celebrate. Sabbath actually is a regular Sunday thing, never mind. But whatever you celebrate over the, what I refer to as the Easter holiday or the weekend where religiously Christ has risen. And I won't get into religion on this channel, but that's the weekend we're talking about. I hope you had a good one. I was with my own family having turkey dinner yesterday, which tends to be a bit of a tradition in my family, but means I have some leftovers in the fridge. Haven't touched them yet, but I have to eventually eat them. Really good leftovers. Like if I were to have a turkey dinner anywhere else now, I tell you it would not taste as good as the one that we have here whenever we have one. We get one of those butterball turkeys, which were hard to find this year, by the way, but one of those butterball turkeys. And we, and those cost like $60 now for a really big one, which is, my goodness, that's a lot of money for one piece of meat. But we get that big frozen turkey. The butterball has a stuffing inside of it, which is why it costs so much to get stuffing with it. And we enjoyed that with all the fixings, potatoes, veggies, everyone's favorite part of a meal, I assure you. Mentioned the stuffing. We tend to like those Red Lobster biscuits, and they have a version of them in the stores, so we get the box version of the Red Lobster biscuits to have with the meal. Really tasty. And I'm going to be honest with you, that's pretty much the only thing I like about Red Lobster. For those of you in the UK who might not know, Red Lobster is kind of like a fish and chips type place, except it's not focused around fish, it's focused around the lobster as the main component of its dishes. You do get other kinds of things as well. They do have steaks as well, but it's a really, really expensive place. So if you're going to be eating there, you got to pony up some really good money in order to have a good meal there, or in order to have any real meal there. That level crossing puts us almost a little over actually 3.5 miles from Langwathby's platform. Again, you're going to notice my headlights are not on. In fact, on the train that was coming towards us at the station, you may have noticed its headlights were not on either, which proves there's a problem with the headlights on this train. That, however, is a Class 37, I believe, and either that or a 66, and those headlights do work. So you get to see those headlights. So I'm reapplying some throttle to get our speed back up where it should be. We're on level ground, so we don't want to lose too much speed here. The problem is if you're on level 3 or level 4 throttle, you are going to still lose speed. So you have to actually figure out exactly where you need to put that throttle to maintain speed. In this area, I believe it's between level 3 and level 4 throttle. There are 7 levels here. It is kind of notched. So the percentage tells you which notch you're in. You can see our stop up ahead. Langwathby platform number 1 is right there. About 1.5 miles away. I'm going to stop using the throttle in a moment here because I don't need to maintain speed. I'm going to maintain 60 for right now. But once we get to 1 mile away, I'm going to turn off the throttle. I'm not going to be increasing the speed anymore at all. That's to prepare to slow down, and I'm going to need about 1/2 mile, I think, to be able to pull down a proper slowdown. So I'm going to try to minimize my speed a little bit early on, and then I'm going to bring the speed down properly for the stop. It is a small platform, so we cannot enter the platform at 30. We're going to risk passing it completely if we do that, entering at 30. So we're going to watch ourselves coming in. And as promised, I'm going to shut the throttle off now. So we'll do a minimal brake application at this time just to see how it responds. Not much at all, so we're going to do a stronger one now. Let's get the speeds melting off now. According to what I see, we have plenty of time to make our stop, so I'm not concerned now about the timing at all. It started out looking tight, but we're going to be on time. Let's get a heavier breakdown to get this speed at a manageable level. Once I get down to about 10, I should be good for stopping where I need to stop. Came down a little too slow in front of the station, but we're going to work with it. Coming to the end of the platform here, we're going to open the doors right at the end of the platform. Just like that, arrival at Langwathby, platform number 1. Leaving Langwathby, our next stop is Lazonby and Kirkoswald. I forgot to put down a stop and save at Langwathby, which was a bad idea because that was a long journey I came through, but oh well. We're going to work with it. As before, our timing looks incredibly tight, but maybe we'll gain a little time on the way here, and that will help us. That is not me. And let's take a moment to just look out the window here and admire the view. That was a funny little skybox. That was a funny little skybox, wasn't it? Okay, that's interesting. Gonna watch our speed because we are on a downhill gradient, 1 in 110. There was a Class 66 going by. I recognized the red facade on it. That's an EWS. Though now I think about it, maybe at the 37, I don't think the 37 is here EWS. I think it's just the 66. I know there are several 66 trains in this scenario because I looked at the train makeup, and I think I counted at least 3 or 4 that were running services. So I don't think I saw a lot of 37s in the scenario. I think there was one in that tunnel that we went past, though. That was probably a 37. Sky got a little darker there. There we go. Our next stop is up ahead anyway, but I want to get myself up to 60 while we can do it. Our timing is looking still rather tight. We have not gained any time at all, which is unfortunate. We have a stop in a minute and a half. We got 2 minutes estimated to make our stop here, which unfortunately is about accurate because we have to slow down. So we're going to see what happens here. Oh, not that again. That's not me. Again, this is a small platform here, so we're going to try to work our train down to a proper speed a little earlier here, and then we'll make our stop appropriately. So we're doing a very slight brake application just to start slowing us down. I'm still not where I want to be, so I've added some more brakes. We'll see how the train slowdown continues here. I think I'm in a roughly good spot right now. There's the platform entry coming up. I'm down to about 20 miles per hour and shrinking. I can come in, I think, around 15. I'm probably going to be in good shape for this particular stop, so I'll enter at 15. We're going to keep going for right now at 14.2 miles per hour. I'm going to go ahead and increase that brake application again as we get to the end of the platform right here. Brakes are off so I can get to the end of the platform. That'll do. Arrival at Lazonby and Kirkoswald. Sorry. Leaving Lazonby and Kirkoswald, our next stop is Armathwaite. As our train gets up to speed, we'll take a look from the back of the train now. We can see the brake lights do work. If we turn the headlights off, the brake lights go off with it, so the brake lights definitely work. It's just the headlights on the front of the train that don't work as we take train 15875 forward today. Nice view of the train from behind. And let's actually go to this side. We can get a look at the scenery on this side as well. There you go. So let's get back inside the cab and we'll continue from there. As soon as I took the throttle off, the brakes went. I didn't even hit the brakes. I don't know why that sound keeps coming up. I really don't. We're now on a downhill gradient, 1 in 132. We're going to have to use minimal brake power to ensure we do not go past our required speed limit. We are 3 miles from our stop, so watch on the right side. In about a minute, minute and a half or so, you're going to see the green platform coming along. Our expected ETA for this particular stop is expected to be well after the point we need to be. So I'm not looking forward to this stop. I might have to actually do this stop a little differently, which bothers me a little bit. I may have to rush this train in for this stop. In fact, you can see if I stay at 1 mile a minute, I'm actually going to be entering right around the time of 1725, I can't even read anymore, 1729-23. I'm going to be entering right around that time, and stopping is just going to be absolutely impossible if I go in full speed. So we're going to have to do a bit of a risk that we could be late on this one. Based on the fact the green platform has come in, I could make my stop at about 30-40 seconds past the minute. Unlike last time, I'm going to have to keep my speed around 60 until I'm ready to come to a stop. I'm going to have to start with a harder brake application right out of the throttle coming off. Otherwise, I will not be able to... No, don't speed. Whoa, that was close. I want to go faster, not speed. Well, staying at 60 won't be an issue right now. Now it will be because we're on level ground. Okay, I think we're good for right now. So we're going to start with a harder brake application. I'm going to say about a 45% or so brake application when we get to the... Now. Hey, I hit it. Ease it up a little bit. So we're up to about 32% brake application now. And now I'm really have to try to nail this perfectly because we're going to be dealing with a very big need for a heavy brake here. Okay, this can come off because I think I'm actually okay now. Get the whole train in, then stop. That will be on time. 17:29:41 arrival at Armathwaite. Leaving Armathwaite, our next stop is Carlisle. We will be ending our journey at Carlisle today. It is about a little less than 10 miles away from where we are now. But it's going to take us 16 minutes to get there because we're not going to be going 60 the whole way. In fact, our arrival is estimated to be right at 17:47. Which I think is based either on a signal or a speed limit, so I'm not sure which. That is another 66 going by. Class 66 train. I should get my speed up a little higher. There we go. Having a little bit of bumps on the track here. Being the last stop of the scenario coming up, I have put down a save at the previous station, so I am going to be able to resume here if I need to. for any purpose related to getting the perfect score here, but hopefully that won't be needed. Because again, I don't really care to do it. I just do it to keep a nice uniform number on the home screen. That's it. We're coming up on another downhill gradient, but we have an uphill first, so I'm not doing... Come on! I'm not doing anything yet, I was trying to say. Noises! All the noises! Okay, we're about to hit that. Does this crane have a coughing spasm at 60 or something? Like, what's going on here? Don't even know what I was going to say anymore. Anyway, what I will say now, and it might be what I was trying to say before, we are coming up on a downhill. We actually are on that downhill now, 1 in 129. So we are going to have to start applying the brakes a little bit here periodically, just like this. And there we go. So we just have to manage our speed carefully the rest of the way here. I think it's downhill for a lot of this part of the journey, but it will flatten out, I think, by the time we get to the London Road sidings. Side of the former London Road station. We have a trio of signals up ahead. If one green is not enough, you now get 3. And maybe even a red mixed in. We have some kind of a warning up ahead. We have to hit the brakes here. Did I misread this? Nope, we have an arm in the air. We're good. Or wait a minute. No, maybe we didn't. Oh no, we're good. We're good. We're staying on the right track. That's what it's telling us. That's what the signal meant. We're good. Now, because we had that buzzer, I am a little concerned that we might still have something going on up here, so I'm going to stay zoomed in for a moment. Our signal is green. I see no indication of anything weird going on up ahead, so I'm going to assume we remain completely green. Yep, we're green. Coming up on about 4 miles to go. We also have about 10 minutes to go these 4 miles. We can go 1 mile every 2.5 minutes. The next mile and a half looks completely clear up ahead, so I'm actually not too concerned right now about my timing. We're going to go ahead and just try to approach whatever next signal we have at whatever decent speed we can. But right now we're on a downhill, so we're gaining speed. This is a 1 in 134 downhill gradient. I am extremely suspicious of a red signal up ahead now. I know we're going to be coming down to a 20 at some point. So notice that the speed drops to a 20, goes back up to a 50, then drops to a 20 again. I think we're going to be staying at 20. Just my little hunch there. We're under 2 miles to go, which means it would take us 6 minutes at 20 to get to Carlisle. But since Carlisle is our route end and we can see it right there, we're going into a terminus platform. I don't think we're worrying about that. I think we're just going to go ahead and let the speed come down to 20 at a good pace where we will not be having any issues with passing through the buffer at the end of the, or not the buffer, with passing into the speeding situation here is what I meant to say. But we're going to stay at 20 so we don't go through the buffer at the end of the route either. Which will be very, very disconcerting. Let's get that speed down quite a bit now. We're going a little too fast. Thank you. So you notice that the buffer at the end has disappeared. The map is zoomed in, so we're not seeing the buffer right now. We have a yellow signal. The next signal is a red signal. So we're definitely going to get down 20 now without any question. We had to anyway. But we're going to proceed with instructions to stop on site at this point. We are still on a 1 in 190 downhill gradient, so our train is trying to gain speed. Knowing that we have a yellow signal up ahead, I'm going to drop... Wait a minute, we're on a 1 in 607. Never mind. We're going to stay where we are for right now. Now that is a connection, I believe. I think that does either go to some sidings or to the West Coast Main Line itself. Either way, I know the West Coast Main Line will be joining us. Looks like it might just be a siding because the line is coming in from that right now to join us. Now, I have a feeling I'm going to have that. Normally, I would have to increase my speed to accommodate the grading situation, but because we have been told to expect a red signal up ahead, why don't I talk about a grading situation? Normally, we could boost our speed a wee bit here if we wanted to, because we know to expect a red signal up ahead, and there it is indeed. We're going to have to stop here instead. So I'm going to slow the train down. Thank you. Going to slow down the train a little bit. We're going to make sure we stop at this signal, because I'm coming in way faster than I wanted to. I just eased off the brakes now. In fact, now I'm down to 1 mile per hour, so I'm just kind of coasting along at the moment to pull right up to the exact spot I want to stop, and then we'll stop. The 10 doesn't concern me. because the 10 doesn't concern me, I'm going to hide that sign in my view. I'm now at a red signal, and I have no choice but to stop and wait to see what is going on. I assume there's a train or something that's going to be passing me. So let's actually take a quick look at the line up ahead and see exactly what is happening. And if the signal turns green in the meantime, or yellow, would be green likely, we're going to have to work with it. But let's take a quick look at the route up ahead and see exactly what is going on. So if I go to where I am right now, which is right here, and I poke around, I see a couple trains up here. This might be who we're waiting for, right here. 2N48 is the train that we are waiting for. If we follow its path, it's going to probably be path to... trying to follow the lines. It might be passing us. It might be passing us on the other line here. I suspect that might be what's happening. So we'll find out in a moment. But for right now, we're going to wait to see if the train comes along. So if you guys are wondering why I'm back here and why I'm showing you a non-perfect score here, the reason is because I've started recently using mute on my videos, especially when I'm at a station stop, so I don't have to cut out me doing, you know, any kind of breathing or anything like that, or I can cough while I'm muted and you don't have to hear it. So I've been starting to introduce that in my videos. Unfortunately, in the last segment of the video, I forgot to unmute myself, so you didn't hear a single word after that train we were waiting for went by. So we're going to go back into the scenario. I'm going to pick up from there. We're going to go ahead and retake that. And I'm going to try and make this a 1,000 point score. Let's see what we can do. Released by the signal. We're now entering another 20-mile-per-hour section. We're not going to be able to really get anywhere beyond that until we have to go 20, which is apparently back where that sign was, but it doesn't take effect till a few seconds after that. Okay, interesting. Little misplaced speed marker on that. But nonetheless, we have to make our way into Carlisle in the next minute and a half, and we have to do it very, very efficiently, because we don't have till the end of the 47th minute on this one. We do have a yellow signal, though, which again is expected. This is the terminus of this part of this particular path that we're on. We are rejoining or I should say joining the West Coast Main Line North at this time, which is down there. We're going to be have tracks that merge up with it as we enter Carlisle Citadel. Actually, no, this is the West Coast Main Line North. I think that's actually a different track that went under it. So here's the one that we're joining with. Now, this is one of those scenarios where to get a perfect score, you have to stop far back from the red and drive dangerously. Come in with some speed to try to pass the signal at speed. That's not how you should be timing a scenario. You can tell this is a 2013 or earlier scenario by that kind of requirement. And just in case there's some kind of emergency brake patch here, I'm going to start slowing down now. And I'm not going to go very far on the platform because I want to make sure I get my doors open on time, whatever I do. So I'm going to not get every single car in. This is intended. So we're going to go ahead and just open the doors here. I could have gone just a tiny bit further, but I might not have had time. So let's look at the train as we finish at 17:47:16. Technically half a minute early. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens when a scenario is not timed properly. You stick out on the track and all traffic at the station is halted because you are a jerk. That's all I'm going to say about that. That is how you can tell an improperly timed scenario. But it's how you get a perfect score. So, you know, that's how the game worked back then. It was an arcade game back then. Or you had a better time getting around. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, well done, driver. You completed all tasks to the temporary timetable. Off to the scoring screen. And that does the job. So you can rush that stop in and make it on time and get your full score, which you can see my 989 did count before. You saw my little interim there, I believe. And this is possible, but you have to rush that last bit from the signal, which is not uncommon in an RSC/DTG scenario to have to rush that last section to make it on time. And this, again, goes to the commentary that this is not an arcade game. This is a simulator. We should not be penalized for being 10 seconds late on our final stop when things are made intentionally tight to force us to play it like it's an arcade game. I think this is where the scoring element in Train Sim World also comes into question because, yeah, I get that you're penalizing for speeding. I get that. But if the timetable is so tight that you can't make it on time, you're going to lose points no matter what you do. What's the point of having the arcade game set up for it? Train Sim World has more of an arcade game feel than anything else. And don't get me wrong, I like both games. Both games are fun. But Train Sim World has the arcade game feel even more than this does. Because in this game, you can actually have games in standard mode, that has standard tab at the top, and not have to worry about scoring. You can have a slack timetable on purpose, create scenarios with a slack timetable on purpose, and not have to worry about whether you're going to be late because you didn't pass the red signal at 20 miles per hour the second it turned green. Not realistic. But in any case, that's the main beef I have with a game like Train Sim World, because everything is about scoring in that game. No matter what you do, there's a score going on. And I guess at some point you just have to ignore the scoring if you want to play the route and enjoy the route. So what can you do? It's just the way the games are set up, and I really wish there was less emphasis on getting a good score and more emphasis on being the actual simulator that it should be. And leave it at that. But unfortunately, there are people that like the scoring too, so I'm not going to question those that do. In any case, what are we going to do next time? I might do the 37 scenario number 7 next time. I'm going to probably just leave the train alone in that one as well, even though in that case I could probably do the swap and it probably would put the right pack in because it is a standalone pack. I don't know if I'm going to have other problems with that, so I might just leave it alone. I might play the default one, see how the default one runs. I'm told that they're to expect to have to manage my speed on the uphill carefully because of the potential for wheel slip. I may have to hold down the X button to do some sand while I'm climbing those hills. I don't know yet. We're going to find out how this works. And I'm going to have to save as I go to make sure I get a good recording set for you here to show you how it should be done properly. But whatever happens, we're going to try and do the best we can with it. And hopefully we don't have any issues with it. It's a 95-minute scenario. I may skip parts of it as well because it is such a long scenario. So we'll see what happens next time. In the meantime, have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever it is for your part of the world. I'm Cyclone. Make sure you also like the video and subscribe to the channel. Again, subscribing is free, so you don't have to give me money to do that. Though, of course, I will not say no to money if you do want to do that, because everyone could use more of that, right? In any case, see you next time. Bye-bye.